Alright, we're back on sports, and today is draft day, so you know what time it is. But I'm going to save draft day, alright, for the end of this video, fans. Because there's a couple things I need to talk about. I got to get off my chest. I got a couple gripes today, alright? And I want to put it like this. I'm going to start off with the NHL. And I want to talk about the Flyers and the Flyers fans. Let me tell you something right now, Flyers fans, okay? Because you sat there and you got so, hyped up that they were going to play the Rangers. They got bounced from the playoffs from the Rangers. And you got to give the Rangers their credit because they played great defensively. They played great. And they were the better team. They were. The Flyers in the last game didn't show up till the third period. They deserved to lose, okay? But then you saw Flyers fans, and this happens like clockwork. Every time the Flyers lose, you have fans coming out and saying, well, I still love my team, and blah, blah. No one said that you didn't love your team. No one questioned your loyalty to the Flyers. So it seems like when people start making these tweets and saying, I still love my team, I'll never give up on my team, it sounds like you're trying to convince yourself more than you are convincing others. That's what it seems like, okay? Now, as of late, for those who don't know, Paul Holmgren was talking about possibly opting out of his last year of his contract. He was talking about it. He was just going to be done with it. And Flyers fans was like, okay, we'll see what happens. And then the promotions, happened yesterday, and Ron Hextall has been promoted to GM, but Paul Holmgren has been promoted to president. And fans are going crazy. And they're like, yeah, Ron Hextall, this is what we wanted. Understand this real quick, all right? Ron Hextall is the most influential person. He's the first influential person for me. I decided to play hockey because I saw what Ron Hextall did. He was the first person, okay, when it came to playing goalie. Also understand that, of course, other goalies of the great, past started to influence me. You saw Grant Fuhr. You saw Mike Vernon, Ed Belfour, Patrick Waugh. You start seeing all these other players, Ken Reggett. I'm saying it, Ken Reggett. There's so many goalies for that time that were so good. And, they influence you to play. But Ron Hextall was the first for me. So it kind of pains me to say this, but Ron Hextall is nothing but a face. He's just a face. That's what he is. He's a face. That's it. He's not going to be really making any decisions. Think about this, okay? For everyone who was upset with Paul Holmgren and all his decision making, you understand you were mad because he had so much power. He just got more power. He's the president. So if Ron Hextall decides to make a move, Paul Holmgren will be like, nah, it's not going to happen. He can pull that power if he wanted to. You can't sit here and tell me that Ron Hextall right now is a good GM. Right now, it doesn't look right. It really doesn't. Until he starts making some monumental moves that they let him make, then I'll call him a GM. But until then, he is just a face. Let's see what he's going to do. I don't know why fans are so hyping. I don't get it, Flyers fans. What's wrong with you? You should know how this goes by now. You wanted Paul Holmgren out of power. They gave him more power. And yet you're okay with this. If you want him out of power, it means get him out of the organization. That's what it means. Cut him out completely. But whatever. You're happy with just Ron Hextall. Just the name Ron Hextall. His face being there. Wait till he makes some moves and see what happens. I'm sure, as much as I love Ron Hextall, I'm sure I'm going to be at odds with him on some decisions. I'm sure I will be. But I want to move on. I want to talk about the Broad Street run that happened over this weekend. Now, people don't understand the Broad Street run. If you follow me on Twitter, you read my tweets on Sunday morning, you can understand the frustration I had with the Broad Street run. I'll explain, okay? Now, Broad Street run was on Sunday. On Saturday, I needed to find out exactly where it was going to be because I knew they were shutting down all of Broad Street, but I didn't know how far it was going to go. Because I go out in the morning. I play basketball on Sunday mornings. You know what I mean? So I didn't know exactly where it would be shut down, what I can take. So on Saturday, I tried to find out where it was going to be shut down, what was going to be open, what times this was going to start and finish, okay? And on Saturday, they said, well, we don't have that information just yet. And I'm thinking to myself, you have to have this information due to the fact that where the runners going to know where to start. You going to tell them the morning of? That's going to be stupid. But I looked and I saw nothing. I even went to their official thing and nothing. All right? So Sunday morning came and I checked, and I still saw nothing really. And I'm like, okay, well, I know that it's going to be on Broad Street. I didn't know if they were going to, have it all the way across Broad Street to the highway or not. I wasn't sure. So, or just from City Hall all the way down to South Philly, if you get what I'm saying. I didn't know how far this was going to go. So, still nothing. So I decided since I was going to leave, I don't have time for this. I got to go. So get in the car. I can't, I'm going down Locust, and I see that Broad Street is cut off down Locust. So I can't go down, down Locust all the way down Center City, whatever. Fine. So I turn on 16th and I go to 16th. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, at least I'll be able to go on a highway. Now, for those who don't understand, I'm going to Port Richmond, which means if you take 16th to the highway to Port Richmond on the highway, that is literally 5 to 7 minute drive. On a Sunday morning that's not crowded. That's a 5 to 7 minute drive. Okay? just to get you, give you an idea of what's going on here. Get to the highway, and it's blocked off. Police are there. Got to go around. So I go back on 16th, and I go straight down. So I'm thinking maybe I can take Spring Garden. Spring Garden, cut off. I'm thinking maybe I can go 76 West and go to the loop and then get back on the highway to go east, right? That's cut off. Because I'm asking the police officer, who was nice. I will get in that in a minute, okay? So I keep going across 16th, right? So now, I'm actually across the other side of Broad. I'm going into North Philly now. So I run into another officer who is giving directions on what's going on. Because if you look down all the other streets and the side streets, it's still blocked off on Broad, regardless of where you're crossing. You know what I'm saying? So, Asian police officer, small cop, gets so nasty with me, so damn ignorant. And all I said with him was, is there another way, another alternative route that I can go? And he says, no. He pretty much starts railing into me and tells me at the end, within everything, this is going down as far as Albany. Yeah. And I have to take every back street to go to Albany. So that's where the race is starting. Albany. All the way down. Now, people, understand this. That is taking me out of my way. Do you understand? Something that takes 5 to 7 minutes, I will explain the time difference later, okay? So I am taking every back road. And, of course, every other car is either in front of me or behind me because we all have to take the same, alternate route, right? And we're talking all of these routes that are so bad. We're in the jungle. We are in the severe jungle. We're talking people standing around waiting to get you. Jungle type thing. You get what I'm saying? Even on Sunday morning. So, at the end of it all, I have to end up going past Central. No Central High School. I have to take Cheltenham Ave, all the way down to Adams Ave, cross the boulevard, go down, in the Erie, for those who know in the Northeast, down in Erie, to Kensington Avenue, turn on Cambria, make a right on Aramingo Ave just to get to Aramingo Lehigh. My time and destination, which started from 5 to 7 minutes, has now taken over an hour. So yeah, I'm pissed off, and I'm late, because they want to have their little run. As far as I'm concerned, all right, everyone who competed in that run, I hope they got injured. I hope they broke something. And you say, Evan, isn't that too harsh? No, it's not. Because in the areas that I was driving in, if I would have been carjacked or shot, you weren't caring about my well-being, were you? No, they weren't caring about that because they had a little race. So why should I care about theirs? As far as I'm concerned, I didn't get any compensation for all the gas I used. No. I didn't get any compensation for the wear and tear on my car. No. I didn't even get an apology from the police department, do I? No. So don't sit here and tell me that I'm wrong for feeling this way. Over an hour long. Yeah, just to play some basketball. If I knew that it was going to go down like this, I'd have taken the train. And for those who follow me on Twitter, usually I do take the train. I usually do. But a 5 to 7 minute drive was not going to hurt my, pretty much hurt the bank or hurt the car or hurt anything until this Broad Street run happened. Which they failed to let me know. Like I said, because I went, on the websites and everything to find out stuff. Where the hell did everyone know where to go if I can't even find it? It makes no sense. It was disgusting. But this is how they act. But when I got down there, to Sion, and for those who don't know, that is Aramingo Lehigh, understand there's a lot of problems that still aren't fixed down there. And I talked about this not too long ago. For those who, like I said, once again, follow me on Twitter, I was down there yesterday. And I'll explain that afterwards. But I want to show you exactly, when I took earlier footage of what was going on down there, before I didn't get a chance to show you guys, what exactly was going on down there, what's the problems on that court, and how people are reacting. Not even how people are reacting. This is a problem with the people there. This is not much of the court, taking down rims and things of that nature. This is a problem within the community at this point where people don't know how to act.
All right, everyone. I'm at Aramingo in Lehigh. This is what you call St. Anne's, this place right across here. Over at school has been shut down not too long ago. Okay, I want to show y'all just how bad this area is. This used to be a premier spot to play basketball in, but as you can see, the conditions of the courts have fallen apart. People started leaving. Of course, that's not that big of a deal now. Compared to other places that I've shown you, it's definitely not that big of a deal, but it can be fixed on. Now, what you're seeing here is the actual wall that people used to, try and keep clean, but then the graffiti, or somewhat graffiti artists, I don't even want to call that graffiti right there. I mean, like an artist. That's just some idiot coming around. I'm gonna show y'all more because they're just trying to tag up on everything at this point. Okay, let me show y'all. Me over here on the ground here. This is the big one right here. Look at this. Now look, the last time we had somebody write graffiti on a backboard around here, it actually said niggers go home. And that was during a tournament that we had here before. And we actually played with that going on. As you can see, the graffiti still going on around the side. It's actually piss poor graffiti, not even good. But I just wanted to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, the conditions here aren't too bad, but people here used to be here all the time, 24/7. Even still, some dude over there on his bike. It's even still over here, like 3 a.m. you can find guys around here playing basketball. So like, look, instead of all that, look, they had to duct tape the rims. You know what I'm saying? The nets to the rims, they had to duct tape them. Like, what does that tell you? There's a problem here. And this is where we usually have tournaments for here every summer. So they have the money to fix it. That's what the tournaments are for. They raise money so that they can keep the court, the upkeep for the court. Look at this. More writing. I'm not trying to hear this, man. Like I said, it's one thing if you have some actual artists out here and they trying to put in work to make things look better, but this doesn't make the courts look better. We actually took our time to clean this stuff up. And now, since most of the people have gone, because for the video I showed you before, we used to go to, we left here to go to Monkevich. So, because that was a more premier spot. And as soon as we left here after, going to Monkevich, this place fell apart. Now it's pretty much just kids here playing. Don't make no damn sense. Look, even more faded writing. Like, we used to have these courts clean, like all these speckles and things you see here, paint drying up, destroying, and some of it's, I guess, bird shit, I guess. We used to, like, you never saw any of this on the court, because we respected our courts. You know what I mean? Ain't none of this. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna have to go talk to the people that's inside the building over there, alright, and see what we can do, because I understand, the more you try to keep cleaning stuff up, when you have people who want to come out in the middle of the night and start writing on shit, people are going to get dejected on things. So as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a problem for a while now. See, this is a little bit different than, them taking down the courts and us not having any power. This is a simple fact of people being idiots. And now we have to deal with the idiots. That's all it is.
So as you can see, they have a lot of problems with graffiti and things. And I went and talked to management after. And the week after, when I went back, this is what happened.
Now it's a week later, I'm here. As you can see, I have talked to some of the people, and they actually wiped down the backboard. They washed it off. But then idiots come back here again and start writing shit all over the backboard. See, I'm going to have a talk with some of these clowns around here, whoever's doing this. As you can see, they tried to clean up, wash down, all the sides with the graffiti. And I put it like this. Don't mind the dogs barking that's in the field. It's windy out here. Like I said, it's about 9:30 out here. Look, even more of this, look. KKK. I guess these clowns don't understand, alright, the fact that we had a lot of problems out here last time with graffiti and racist graffiti. There's not much going on here, alright, nothing's really been changed. The court still looks bad, but understand that they even started writing on the other court now. Look at this. Look at this shit. I'm tired of this, man. So obviously, I'm gonna get these fools in the act. We want to get some cameras, maybe put them up here, set it up. And the thing is, we were just talking about getting more, better, nets. Like, look at how bad these nets are. Look at this. We were talking about getting, rims for them, but if they can't keep this shit, focused, what the fuck? Like, you can't do anything. This don't make no sense. I'm gonna go back over here so y'all can see this. And this is in a week's time. So like I said, they did try, as you see, they did try and get rid of this stuff, but then they just come back and write all over it. I can only imagine what the back one looked like. I didn't even look at the back one. This got anything on it? Nah. The back one is all beat up. That's all got holes. There's a bunch of holes in the backboard. As you can see, we're going to have to get some cameras and put them up here. Up here. This don't make no sense, man. You can't even keep the court clean because there's always some idiot trying to write his name on it. And you know what the thing is? Sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire. And because I know so many graffiti artists in the neighborhood, maybe it's time we get them to come around here and start doing this and do it really nice. So that it shuts down all these little corny ass tags, little weak ass tags. Let's go into the hockey. Let's go into the hockey rink real quick. All right, just to show y'all. As you see, this is where they play hockey and soccer at. All right. Pretty big rink, but look, writing all along sides, it don't even make no sense, man. Let me show y'all this. You can't have anything. So I think it's time that we start employing the actual graffiti artists to come along and do this well. Hey, look at this. What's the point of this? There's no point of this. This is stupid. This is beyond stupid. And it's supposed to be, you know, where people can go and have fun. So maybe it's time we get some real graffiti artists to do something really colorful around here and do some actual artwork, some actual graffiti work, some pieces, because this little nut shit is getting on my damn nerves. I can't keep coming out here every week, every other week, talking to the management, and they know me, so of course they're going to try to take care of it. They want to take care of the court. Then you have some clowns come around here and start writing on stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to stick my neck out for people and try to help them and fix shit, and then all of a sudden they want to come and destroy more shit. Getting sick of this.
So as you can see, this is not a park problem like the other places where they just took the rims down and was just like, whatever, you just have to deal with it, you know what I mean? We don't care what you have to say. No, they actually went out there per request and tried to clean up the backboards and clean up all this stuff so that we can have a better area. We're on the same page. This is a community problem at this point. It's an idiocy problem. Don't come in our basketball courts, all right, which is the only place, pretty much a salvation that we have, which is sports. You have to understand, in that community, they don't do anything but play sports. So they hold those places like it's a castle, like it's a shrine. It's golden. You have to understand that. You come around, especially at the last time of all the racist stuff that people writing on backboards, you go and do this? That's stupid. And I put it like this, those tags, I'm going to find out who they are. You have to understand, I'm very well known and very well connected here, man. All right? That's my community. I've been playing there for years. You're not going to come in there and do that, especially for those who follow me on Instagram. You know, I know all those graffiti artists. We talk and everything. They have their own magazine. Understand, all I have to do is just find out who those people are, and then we're going to go talk to them. And on top of that, those graffiti artists, those big-time graffiti artists, those good, skilled graffiti artists, we're going to throw a couple dollars their way. We're going to have to, all right, to make that place better. Like I said, I have a number of concepts I'd like to sit around and talk with them with, you know what I mean, to make the court better, you know what I mean? So, especially when it comes to, like, getting cameras and stuff, you know, at this point, I'm really thinking, after seeing all the stuff I've been covering as of late when it comes to crowdfunding and Indiegogo and stuff like that, I'm really thinking of starting a Kickstarter for it. You know, for every court. And what I'll do is I'll put, you know, the footage of, you know, of the process being done so that you can see that your dollars are not going to waste. Unlike the rest of these guys who are just trying to con you. You can actually see that this is making, you know, your dollars are going to something and making it better. So I'm really thinking about doing that. I'm not sure yet. I have to see what's going on because you know damn well the city's not going to help. This is sad. So maybe that's the way to go about it. But we're going to have to need a new system for cameras and stuff so that, you know, even at night, you know, at night vision or whatever, we can see who's doing this. Because they don't do it during the day, really. They don't. They're not that stupid. They do it, you know, at night. And then when you come, you know, you come to play that morning or whatever, that's when you see it. It's usually how it works. But it's ridiculous that these are the things that we have to go through. And that's just one basketball court. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't sit right with me. And like I said, for those who follow me on Twitter, you know, I was just down there yesterday. And I wanted to, I brought some nets, and I wanted to put some nets up, and because you saw the way, you know, the condition of that stuff was, you know, there were nets, there weren't nets, they were taped up. I wanted to actually do it right, and it started raining down there. The management wasn't there, so I didn't have a ladder to do it. You know, I didn't have a big ladder to do it, but it was also raining. So even if they were there, I wouldn't have been able to do it. They wouldn't have taken the risk of it being wet and me going up on a ladder. That's an accident waiting to happen, and they would be liable. And yeah. It's best to not go there. You know what I mean? But I will be down there later this week. Again, I'll probably be down there like on Sunday, so I'll see, you know, by then, you know, if they're up and running, I can, you know, put the nets up. So, yeah, it just goes to show you that we're trying to make moves, and every time, if it's not the city staying in the way, or, you know, delinquent, I should say, management of other places taking stuff down, now you got to deal with the people. It's always something. It's always. But speaking of the things that you saw and that type of stuff, like I said, you know, the race that was going on, KKK and all that, understand this, people, all right? In other news when it comes to racism, Donald Sterling, that's right, a little update. Donald Sterling is deciding to sue the NBA. And that is just not going to go well, all right? And I'll put it like this. Because you have a billionaire with his lawyer who's going to go up against the NBA, the franchise, which consists of 22, 23, if not more, billionaires. They're going to crush him. Look, Donald Sterling, take the loss. You're going to have to sell the team. Besides, by public perception, this would just be absolutely wrong. If anything, you're going to garner more hate for this. You are. People are going to be pissed off. And the NBA playoffs alone, I mean, all right, I play this. A lot of people find it exciting. There were a lot of Game 7s. I personally see it different. I'm seeing a lot of flopping. I'm seeing a lot of acting, and it's starting to piss me off. So this week's Griffin Force, even though Vince Carter knocked down that beautiful last second jump shot against the San Antonio Spurs, which now the Dallas Mavericks are eliminated, he also gets the Griffin Force of the week.
Leonard pushes off, offensive foul. Carter got right up on him and drew the charge. That's the fourth foul on Leonard.
In other NBA news, Mark Jackson has been fired from the Golden State Warriors, which I don't understand why. This is the guy who's there. He's been there for 3 seasons. He's taken the Warriors to the playoffs for 2 seasons. All right? And the Warriors, they didn't make the playoffs, and God knows how long before that. Look, understand that this clearly had to be a personal issue and not a performance issue. There are times that the Golden State Warriors fall apart, down the stretch. True. There are times where they lost, some games in the season, which could have put them in a different bracket when it came to the playoffs. True. But you still made the playoffs. And that's a good coach. He's not going to be out of a job for long. I guarantee you he won't. It's sad that this is what it's come to. Also, there was also talks about how sometimes he would treat certain players different. There was some favoritism along with Steph Curry. I don't know how true that is, but this is what is being reported. However, I do want to move on to football finally, okay? Now, Eagles fans, as I said, draft day is upon us. And I'll put it like this. A lot of people are saying, hey, we should all get together and, watch, the draft at this house or that house. I'm thinking to myself, why didn't all the fans get together and invade New York and go to Radio City Music Hall? You know what I mean? That's what I'm on. But, as a rivalry, because, Philly fans walking into New York. But I'll put it like this, all right? I understand it's Thursday. It's another thing why I don't like the draft being on Thursdays. Because it's Thursday, people are going to work the 9 to 5, and then they're going to, let's go to New York. You think they're going to want to get to New York by then? They wouldn't make it unless they took the train. You try to drive to New York in rush hour? Yeah, good luck, all right? Not going to happen. But I will put it like this. It would have been really nice if this was on a Friday, and then I think more people would have been, inclined to stay overnight. Only go to that first day of the draft and not stay for all weekend. I don't know, some people may. You'd be really amazed on how many fans really don't watch the entire draft. You know what I mean? So I personally think that it's something that Eagles fans, it would have been fun for Eagles fans to go and invade for a day and really, really stand out and just boo the hell out of all the Giants fans and boo the Giants, whoever they drafted. However, I will put it like this. That is all in good fun, but there's times where there's a time and place for everything, and sometimes Eagles fans can be very classless, like booing Giants players at charity events. The sad part about all this is that they're not ashamed of themselves. They're happy that they did it. No, you don't do that. What the hell's wrong with you? It's at a charity event. It's one thing if he's walking on the street and say something, but at a charity event, no, you don't do that. You don't do that at all. I will put it like this, okay? There's a reason why people hate Eagles fans, and this is the reason why. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, we don't care what anyone else thinks about us. And usually in those cases, when it comes to, not liking us because we boo their team or we boo other people or whatever, throwing snowballs at Santa or whatever, you can use that in that case. But in this case, you can't use it, okay? Clearly, we look bad because a couple of idiots decided they wanted to do this. And I'll talk about more idiots, all right? Because the draft. ESPN, please stop talking about Johnny Manziel. Please stop saying that there's a chance he may go to Dallas. It got to the point where the hype got so much that even people in Texas have made billboards for Johnny Manziel. People in Dallas, let me tell you something real quick, all right? People in Texas in general, let me give you a little bit of advice, all right? Stop riding the train. As far as I'm concerned, the Texans, they're going to take Jadeveon Clowney. They'd be crazy if they didn't, all right? But if the Dallas Cowboys take Johnny Manziel at the 16th overall pick, when you've had one of the worst defensive seasons you've ever had, you've got to be kidding me. You might as well not even call yourself a fan. If you think that's okay for Jerry Jones to do. I understand he's riding high on him, but you have to be kidding me if you're not addressing your defensive issues as opposed to going to get a quarterback, okay? Because Tony Romo, even though he's coming off back surgery, he can still play. And Kyle Orton, who filled in for him last year, he played a hell of a game, so you can't even say anything about it. This is what I'm talking about, man. There's no way. Same thing, Eagles. Same thing. As much as I've been talking about how on offensive side we need, I would love to see Odell Beckham get picked. He's not going to be there, all right? Clinton Dix came out and said, Eagles, come get me. He said, come get me. As far as I'm concerned, go get them. We need defense. We need a secondary. We need a lot of things on defense. So go take care of business, Eagles. That's what I'm talking about. If anyone has noticed in the past, all right, even look at last year. Look at the Seahawks, all right, built off of defense. Texans taking stuff on defense. The Giants, you better be looking at defense. You probably need some receivers too, but you better be looking at defense, all right? You know, everyone in the NFC is building defenses except Washington, who's actually building offense. Even though they just picked up Ryan Clark, but still, they need more defense. And they still need help on their offensive line as well. The Redskins are worried about offense as opposed to everyone else who's building defense. Because defense wins championships. That's why. Look around the NFL. Look at all the other teams in the Super Bowl. The Ravens. It's defense. This is what wins championships. And you have to understand that. But it seems like for some reason this hype train, and I'll put it like this, if I had the choice to pick between Johnny Manziel, and you can call me crazy if you want, between Johnny Manziel and Blake Bortles, after looking at their combines, I'm taking Bortles. He seems to be more primed and more ready. Unless you can put Manziel in some type of scheme, and I'll put it like this, the best team right now I feel that could be flexible when it comes to putting him in a scheme, Manziel, is probably the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Especially with Lovie Smith just now being a coach, probably. I mean, seriously, Cleveland, they're talking about, was it a lot of people? A lot of Cleveland fans on Twitter talking about they want Sammy Watkins. They may just get him. They may just. So we'll see what happens. But as far as I'm concerned, this is something that needs to be built. And you build defense, damn it. Eagles, defense. Dallas, defense. Giants, defense. Redskins, yeah, I don't know. I think they're overrating the Redskins a bit much in the media. I'm not saying the fans. The fans have every right to feel the Redskins are going to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? They're going to back their team. I understand that. But I'm sure that even they can see that they still need some work. Every team needs work. You always keep building. You always. You don't believe me? That's Belichick. Win X amount of Super Bowls, three Super Bowls in a row. Even though he cheated, 3 Super Bowls in a row. But you keep building to make yourself better. That's what you do. Anyways, I'm done for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.